Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osterberg501 and today I want to go over all you need to know for the engraving system in Lost Ark. And engravings are probably the most important part of creating builds in Lost Ark. And when you're trying to join a group for say a raid or dungeons, these are probably the first thing that someone is going to look at when they're inspecting you to see if they want to invite you to the group. And there's multiple different facets that all combined into the engraving system. So first off, if you click P on your character profile, you can go over to engraving and this will show you all your current engravings. This is alternate character as well. So a lot of my engravings aren't going to be very high because this character isn't really geared at all. But you will see all the engravings you have. Blue engravings are positive effects and red engravings are negative effects. Now you'll see every engraving has level 1, level 2, level 3. You have to fill up all the points of level 1 to unlock level 1. So say drops of ether right here, we have the rank 1 because we have 5 nodes filled in. We'll need 10 nodes to get level 2 and 15 nodes to get level 3. And that is the basis of how the engravings work. Now there's 3 different ways to get these engravings. First off, if you go to your gear tab, you will see at the bottom there are 2 engraving slots. And these come from reading different engraving books like this one right here. And to find these, you go to your roster tab and there will be engraving effects right here. And these are split up into 2 different categories. Combat bonus, which are just general engravings that all classes can use. And then there are class bonus. And every single class has 2 different class engravings that they have the possibility of building into. And the class engravings are the most important engravings. They usually give a much bigger boost or they change up your build in some way. Say Mayhem for Berserker, it essentially keeps you in your Berserk mode at all times. This is one of the bigger ones that changes up your build quite a lot. And if you're in groups with Mayhem Berserkers, you'll notice their health is always really low because that's part of this class engraving. But you have tons of other stuff, and actually a lot of the classes do have viable builds with both of the class engravings, and usually it's supports that don't actually have an option. Say for a paladin, if you want to do any serious content, you have to go into the blessed aura engraving that is a support engraving. And then the combat bonus engravings, which are just the general engravings, are focused on either increasing your damage, increasing your survivability, or increasing your support capabilities if you're one of the 2 support classes. Now to unlock the ability to use all of these different engravings, you have to read recipe book. So I have some in my inventory right now, and how this works is that you have to read 20 of each rarity hub book to unlock that tier of the engraving in the engraving bonus pages. So I'm going to show you how this works. I don't have anything in the madness, 0 out of 20. So I have 20 of the uncommon Mayhem books. So I'm going to go ahead and read all 20 of these books. And what this is going to do is this is now going to unlock Mayhem. So now Mayhem is an equipable item I can equip on my character. And what this will do is this will give me points into that specific engraving that I just unlocked. And the first rank, which is just reading the uncommon recipes, will give me 3 node points as you see at the bottom. So at Mayhem, this added an additional 3 node points into this, and we need 15 total node points to max out the power. Now if you want to rank up this Mayhem equipable engraving, I would have to read 20 rare books to get that next rank. So say right here I have rare general books, they're blue, and you'd have to read 20 of them. Just like we just read 20 of the uncommon ones, we have to read 20 of the next rank, and this goes all the way up to legendary. So it's 20 uncommon, 20 rare, 20 epic, 20 legendary, and that will max out your rank on the equipable engravings. And also you can equip 2 of the same engravings down here and it will give you those amount of points. So now we go back to Mayhem and now we're 1 point away from having rank 2 Mayhem. And the class and general equipable engravings work in the exact same way, and they show you what you'll be able to get at every level of these engravings. So that's the first part of how you get and level up these engravings. This is the main part, and it's much more long-term progression because these books do start to get pretty expensive once you get to higher ranks. A lot of the epic engraving recipes go for over 1,000 gold right now, and they're not super super common to get as of right now. Like I mentioned, you need 20 of each, so you need a lot of books to even max out one engraving. So the second way you go about getting engravings is on all of your jewelry pieces. So on all of your jewelry pieces, your necklace, your earrings, and your rings, they all give you increases to different engraving effects, but they also give increases to negative engraving effects, so the red versions. So say on this ring right here, we have +2 to mayhem, +1 to attack power reduction. So that +2 to mayhem helps us get closer to higher ranks of mayhem, but the negatives also could potentially give us passive debuffs. With the negatives, if you don't get enough to get into level 1, they do absolutely nothing. So that's one of the balancing acts of the system, is to try to have no negatives but also get optimized points into the engravings that you want. Now, the amount of engraving points you get off your jewelry is determined by a few different things. First off, the tiers. As you go higher in tiers, you will have more points. So say a tier 2 epic neck piece would give me node points into 2 different engravings, and I think you could get a max of 4 points total. Now, if I went and got legendary accessory pieces from tier 1, I would get node points into 2 different engravings as well. The amount of node points into your engravings you get is determined by the rarity and tier of that accessory piece. And all of the accessory pieces can also roll with class engravings on them. So that's another big factor into the balancing act of trying to get the engraving points you want without getting any negative effects. Now, the last way you're going to go about getting engravings and increasing their level is through your ability stone. Now, this is another item you equip that'll give you increases to 2 positive engraving nodes, but also an increase into 1 negative node. And these work a little bit differently than all the other items because you actually have to cut these, and there's a bit of RNG involved with that. And the amount of engravings you can possibly get is determined by the rarity on these as well. So higher rarity ones gives you a higher possibility of getting more levels into your engravings. So this is an uncut ability stone right here, and you would come to a ability stone cutter NPC and you would just put in one of your ability stones that you're trying to cut. Now, these will have 2 positive engravings, like I mentioned, 1 negative, and then they have a certain amount of possible node points it can put in. Now, where the RNG comes in is you have a success rate for both of these, and you have to try to get the least amount of negative engraving points with the most positive engraving points. And if you put in an engraving point, that one failed, so my success rate would go up normally, but it's already at 75%. That one was a success, so it goes down by 10%. That one was a success, so it goes down by 10% again. That one, another success, goes down, another success goes down, and it just keeps going down until you fail. And when you fail one, it goes back up 10%. So the main thing you're trying to do is to just use all your low percent rolls on the negative effect and all the high chances on positive effects. But some people, even endgame players on other regions of the game, still just spam through these because it does come down to RNG. You can help with it a little bit, but at the end of the day, it still just comes down to RNG. And if you just spam it, you could possibly get something that's good. That's why there's so much RNG involved with these stones. And you could get a stone that's really good, has all these stats you want, and then you go cut it, and it ends up being a shitty stone because you got really bad luck on the cuts of it. So that's pretty much the entirety of the engraving system. It's pretty complicated, but you definitely need an understanding of this system because, like I mentioned, if you're say trying to do endgame content, you're looking for groups, you're trying to join groups for Legion raids when they come out or harder dungeons, people aren't going to look at your item level first. Most of the content in the game is already item level locked anyway. If you're looking to join someone's group, the first thing they're going to look at when they inspect you is they're going to go to your engravings and see how good your engravings are, because this is one of, if not the most important part of gearing your character. Having a maxed out class engraving could be more important than having a massive item level difference. But that's pretty much all I want to go over with the entirety of the engraving system in Lost Ark. So subscribe if you want to see more Lost Ark or other MMO videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about the engraving system, and thanks for watching.